in just a few days, our Christian brothers and sisters and the Christian world will be worshiping a day that they call the birthday of Jesus Christ. This day, the 25th of December, will be celebrated by Christians throughout the world. Some Christians will honor the birthday of Jesus in a proper manner, but most will honor his birthday or his alleged birthday in a manner that is shameful and disgraceful for such a holy and righteous servant of God. Those of you who are listening to this particular broadcast, we don't need to spend an inordinate amount of time on something that you already know and will agree with me is truth. That more whiskey is sold and drunk on the day called Christmas than any other day of the year. More foolishness and filth is carried on that day than any other day of the year. More commercialization is done on that day than any other day or time of the year. It is anything but a holy day the way it is being preached and the way it is being practiced. So our practice on that day should tell us that we are dishonoring the man that we claim to believe in. For to be drunk on the day, the birth date of a man who did not drink, to be partying on the birth date of a man who did not party, to be lying and giving Santa Claus such big position on his day, which is something Jesus knew nothing about, is mockery of that great and holy man.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Farrakhan says that Christmas is no longer our only celebration, but a commercial trap created to keep Americans spreading money they don't have. Farrakhan argues that big companies, banks, and corporations use Christmas to push people into debt, all while pretending it's all about Jesus. He reminds listeners that Jesus was not born on December 25th, calling the date a European creation, not a biblical one. Farrakhan says that the real message of Jesus, justice, righteousness, and liberation, has been buried under gifts, shopping, and materializing. He asks, how can you celebrate Jesus while ignoring the poor, the oppressed, and the suffering? Farrakhan teaches that Christians should be a time of truth, a time of self-reflection, a time to uplift families and communities. This is what Luis Farrakhan says about Christmas. Just listen to his views on Christmas, and at the end, we're going to have a good discussion on this.
And what we want to see as Muslims, followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and those who have been taught to honor, respect, and revere the memory of Jesus, we want to see an end put to the mockery that is made of such a divine man on the day that you call his birth date. The fact of the matter is this: Jesus was not born on the 25th of December at all. Most of the scholars of religion are now in agreement with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that if the scripture teaches that there were certain shepherds abiding in the field, tending their flocks by night, and it was at this particular time that Jesus was born. If you study the weather pattern of Palestine, as it is now called Israel, and Bethlehem, you will see that the weather today is similar to the way it was 2,000 years ago. It is cold and rainy in this time of the year in Palestine, and there are no shepherds in the field tending any flocks by night in December. Most of the scholars agree with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the shepherds are in the field in late summer, September, August, early October. They move in with their flocks. Jesus was not born on that day, but someone was born on that day that we need to know about. And the one that was born on that day, the way we worship or carry on the 25th, is a fitting tribute to the man that was born on that day, but not Jesus. In the old pagan Babylon and the Middle Eastern area, around the time of the winter solstice, which took place around the 21st day of December, that is the day when the sun appears to stand still in the heavens, and the day is the shortest day of the year. Those particular persons there in Babylon worshiped the sun. And the sun, as the days started getting shorter and shorter and shorter, they began to feel that their God was leaving them. And around the time of the winter solstice, the 21st of December, the shortest day of the year, that at that point it appeared as though the sun stood still in its habitation. And then from that day onward, from the 21st of December onward, the days start getting longer again. So every year the pagan worshippers would entreat their god, the sun, to return to them. Around that time they would burn logs. Around that time they would make wreaths resembling the sun out of evergreen, and they would cut a tree down out of the forest. It's mentioned in the book of Jeremiah around the 10th chapter that we should not learn the ways of the heathen, nor be dismayed by them. For the heathens go into the forest and cut a tree down, the work of a workman with an axe. And they take the tree and they bring it in the home and they nail it down, and then they deck the tree with silver and gold. This is a practice that you are now observing going on throughout the Western world. Somebody has just wasted a tree, cut a beautiful tree down out of the forest for you to practice paganism in the name of Jesus Christ. The Son of God, the birth of the Son. That day, the 21st of December, from that point on, as the sun began to appear to come back and the days started getting longer, this represented the birth of the Son. So when in the teachings of the gospel, we are to look forward to this great man coming who is styled scripturally in the Bible as the Son of God, then they harmonize the old pagan rituals of the early Babylonian period with the birthday of Jesus Christ. And so you get Merry Xmas. You see, Merry Xmas. It seems as though that's the short version for Christmas. But Christmas means a mass of people gathered together for the purpose of worshiping Christ. And if we see at this serious time of the year a mass of people who are gathered together to worship a man, a human being born of a woman, but a divinely anointed being who comes into the world to crush wickedness and injustice, then the practice that we have on that day says, no, it is not a mass of people worshiping Christ, but it's really Xmas. X standing for the unknown. We really don't know who or what we're worshiping at the time of the year, but Jesus' good name is put on a sacrilegious carrying on that has nothing to do with Jesus at all. And so, beloved, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that Nimrod, that great wicked man, was born on the 25th day of December, and it is he, in reality, that the people are worshiping on the 25th day, his birth.
Welcome back. Why does Louis Farrakhan say that Christmas is commercialized? He emphasizes that Christmas has become a corporate and a commercial event. It focuses on shopping, gifts, and spending rather than the spiritual message of Jesus. He says that and insists that December 25th is not Jesus' actual birthday. He points out that Jesus was not born on December 25th. The date was adopted by European traditions, not biblical records. And that's why he's saying that people should come together and help the poor on this 25th, 25th of December every year. He said that materialism distracts from spirituality. Farrakhan said people have forgotten the true purpose of Jesus' teachings: justice, righteousness, and liberation. The focus on toys, parties, and decorations replaces moral and spiritual reflection. He talks directly to the black communities and he says that they should be worried. He warns black Americans that Christmas has been used to drain resources from the community. Corporations profit while ordinary people are distracted from addressing social and economic issues. He says that the true celebration about Jesus is about reflection and uplift. Farrakhan encourages celebrity in a way that honors family and community, supports the oppressed, focuses on spiritual growth than consumerism. He says that Christmas should be taken as a lesson in truth. He frames the holiday as a teaching moment. Question traditions blindly followed, understand history and manipulation behind holidays, use the season to improve self and community. That's why Luis Farrakhan says that Christmas has been hijacked by commercial interest. Its spiritual message has been lost, and people, especially black Americans, should reclaim the holiday by focusing on truth, morality, and community uplift. Farrakhan explains that December 25th is not the actual birthday of Jesus Christ. We talked about this, but he points out that the date was chosen by European communities centuries ago, aligning with proper festival and political agendas, rather than following historical and biblical records. According to Farrakhan, this has allowed commercial interests to dominate the celebration, transforming it into a holiday centered on shopping, spending, and consumerism instead of the spiritual message of Jesus. Luis Farrakhan warns that the focus on materialism distracts people from the core teaching of Jesus, which emphasizes justice, righteousness, and liberation of the oppressed. Farrakhan notes that while families rush to buy gifts and partake in lavish festivals, the original values of morality, spiritual growth, and concern for the less fortunate are largely ignored. Las Farrakhan addresses the black communities. Specifically, Farrakhan stresses that Christmas has historically been used to drain resources from the people, keeping them preoccupied with commercial pressures rather than building economic, social, and spiritual strength. Louis Farrakhan urged individuals to question traditions blindly accepted over generations and to understand how holidays can be manipulated for profit and control. Louis Farrakhan encourages a reclamation of the season. celebrating in ways that honor family and community, uplifting the oppressed, and focusing on self improvement and moral reflection. To Luis Farrakhan, Christmas should be a time to teach truth, promote understanding, and spread spiritual consciousness, rather than merely an excuse for consumption and distractions. Luis Farrakhan ultimately framed Christmas as an opportunity for awakening by seeing through the commercial well and recognizing the historical and spiritual truth people can use in the holiday season to reflect, act with purpose, and build a stronger community. Remembering the essence of what Jesus represented rather than the hollow consumer culture that dominates the modern celebration. Luis Farrakhan, on talking about this Christmas, he questions about the cultural and commercial norms that comes with Christmas. He teaches that many people blindly follow tradition without understanding the origins. We learn to critically examine holidays and not accept what society tells us to face value. He tells that the people, mostly the black people, should recognize the commercialization which has been put on Christmas. Christmas has become an holiday driven by profit, shopping, and consumerism, not spirituality. Farrakhan shows us how materialism can distract from deeper moral and spiritual growth. On this video, please Farrakhan helps the black community, all the Americans, in understanding the historical truth about Christmas. December 25th is not the actual birthday of Jesus Christ. That's what he insists. Learning this reminds us that some traditions are shaped by politics, culture, and economic motives rather than just faith. He insists that every person, every American should focus on spiritual and moral values on Christmas, which is just coming next month. He says that the real message of Jesus, justice, righteousness, and care for all the oppressed is what matters. He teaches that holiday should encourage self-improvement, moral reflection, and community uplift. On this, he says that these people should learn about awareness of exploitation by this what is called Christmas. He says that black communities in particular are warned that holidays can be used to drain resources and distract people from building wealth and strength. He says that we people, we black people, we Americans, we learn to prioritize empowerment over entertainment. He tells that, he insists that we should reclaim the season. He encourages celebrating in a way that honors the family's community and truth, rather than following commercial and superficial expectations. Miss Farrakhan teaches that this Christmas should be a time when the less fortunate are helped, are given food. The less fortunate children are given enough money to go back to school. It says that it should be a time to bring the family together, to increase the spiritual understanding of Jesus Christ, rather than just shopping and doing materialistic activities. Luis Farrakhan emphasizes that we should really understand the full meaning of Christmas. He insists that because Christmas is just coming on the other day, and people take it a day to celebrate, to just buy shopping, to do things. But he teaches that we should have time to understand the real meaning of Christmas, as he explains on this video, to increase the spiritual understanding of Jesus, to help the less fortunate, to come together as a family, and to take a self understanding of someone and know on what they are doing on this certain life. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for always sticking around. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe on this YouTube channel, and let's meet on the next video.